Tell me about yourselves.
Where do you want to start from?
Why are you?
First, babe.
Okay. We are Femi and Ini Leye. We married for 7 years now. I would say 7 years because like our anniversary is in 2 months. But we've been married for 7 years. Been together for 9. Babe, is it 9? 2016. Okay, yeah, we've been together for 9 years. And I'm a musician. She's a therapist, art therapist, broadcaster, journalist. What else?
Too many things.
Woman of God,
Oh.
wife, mother, friend, sister, and all those beautiful things. I'm a musician, multi-instrumentalist. What else do I do? Producer, songwriter. Don't let us forget that part. But all things music. I'm a creative. Also, up until recently, I started executive producing some series and stuff. So I'm going into shooting movies and shooting series and producing them and all that. So yeah, I also produce music I score music for what's this thing called, for movies and for series and thrillers and all this stuff. Yeah. So that's who we are. Oh yes, and we are parents. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
You guys have such an amazing love story. I want you to tell me about it. And tell me about it and how it started, where it is now, after 7 years, with 3 children.
It's an entire conglomerate. I'm telling you,
It
it's
is.
a company.
So our love story started in 2016, but way before that, I think. No, started when we met.
2013.
No, not when we met. I'll say it started when we officially started talking. And this was 2013, right?
Yes. Yeah, I started talking 2013, but actually, there was a period where we didn't talk.
Where we didn't talk, and then the
2014.
beginning of 2014, we now, yes. So our love story started 2014. By that time, we had been talking on and off. I was working as a radio presenter. I'd done an interview for Femi on radio, and then we just stopped talking. Not that we stopped talking, just life, life had happened to me. I didn't even know where he was, and then I reached out to him. Yes, 2014. I was gonna reach out to you. I was like that. Oh, or did you say hi or something? I was like, oh, where have you been?
I think we just reconnected somehow.
We just reconnected, but I remember the day we reconnected. I remember that we also went to Ember Creek that day. I remember because Joan's like my sister. We were friends when we were in uni. Joan had just come into the country, as we were hanging out, and then we met up, and yeah.
I was about to start playing at Eco Hotel. I got the
yes, that's when you told me, and I was so happy for him because he was a budding musician, and that was it was huge. He was going to start playing at the Eco Hotel every Friday. Like, that was amazing. So we reconnected, and we're just going. But I remember that day. Was it that day? We ran into Luto.
Luto, yeah.
We ran into Luto.
Shout out to Luto Nak.
And everything was still normal. So I was going to remove this eyelash. Everything was still normal, and then we were just gisting, hanging out, and then I was about to go home. So he just escorted me. We went to a restaurant to buy food. We ran into Luto, and then Luto asked me, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend?" I was like, "No." And then he said, "Oh, is he your boyfriend?" And when he said it, I was like, "No." And I looked at him. When you look at your friend, I just saw this weird look on Femi's face. I was like, "Okay." That was the first time we don't know. I'm like, is it possible this guy likes me? I'm like, no. So I was like, no, he's not my boyfriend. Anyway, but that was the first time my eyes were open to see that Femi might have whatever it was for me.
He's called feelings.
And I reached out to you now. Why did you reach out to her?
No.
Good question. Tell us.
Okay, so this is what happened. I remember where I was that day. So I called her. I told her that I think I texted her or something that the hotel thing happened. She was like, "Oh, let's link up. Let's see. I'm coming. I'm gonna be at Ember Creek today, so come." And so I went to join her. It was Juwon.
So some other guys from
one of the guys that is like, he's married now in Canada. So we hung out at Ember Creek, and we took a cab to I think it was one of the restaurants, and then went to buy food. And then I saw Luto. I've known Luto, obviously. Luto, Titi Dog, and all those guys, they were doing their thing. So you just mentioned that like
You
it's like it's
guys,
some like
yeah.
you like almost like imprinting that you guys should. Obviously, I
Oh
already
yeah,
like
he also made that statement that you
that you
guys
guys should
should.
get together.
He said
He
you
said
guys
so.
should. I have a feeling you guys should.
Yeah,
I was like,
like, and nobody has ever said anything like that because I never told him that I. The only person I told was Wana.
I had no
I'm
idea.
telling the only person I told. So he said that I obviously I was very shy. I'm like, how much? Yeah, I don't post my book and all that. I wanted to be like very slick with it and everything. But yeah, I think that was what she knew. But me, I'd already been there for like a while. But I think it was cemented for me just a couple of months after that. That oh, this is where I'm going to be. So regardless of what happens, I'm going to be here. I think that was actually where the perseverance came from. Like wherever it is that whether she says yes or no, I'm just gonna
Be
keep
your
calm.
friend.
Yeah.
So, quick question. I want you to tell me about the rape. And was it before he asked you out, or before you guys met?
Oh, way before. Okay, it wasn't before we met, but it was in between. So when we said that there was a gap, that gap it happened in between. I got kidnapped and raped March 2014. This incident we're talking about happened shortly before. It happened around this time. It's only about February, to be honest. We also started dating officially in February. Anyway, so it was around this time because shortly around Juwon's birthday. Juwon's birthday is 31st of January. I remember she was around at that time. Then we met up. So February we started, this whole night, that whole day, and then shortly after that, the whole incident of rape and kidnap happened, and so there was another gap. Like you're not even thinking about anything. You're not even thinking about a relationship. I was just fighting for my life. And so I remember that we did start talking again after.
Did he know about the rape when it happened?
No, he didn't.
I had no idea.
So he was about to release a new song called Smile. Amazing song, lovely song. You should listen to it. And then he reached out to me also. No, I saw it. Yes, I remember I saw that he had spoken about it. So I reached out to him. Oh, you should come, like totally come and bring the song to the station. Let's do an interview and everything. Let's like put awareness. Because for me, I just felt like he was such a talented person. I felt like this thing is beyond talent. It's a gift. And I was like, I have a platform. Might as well just push this guy out there, because there's lots of nonsense out there. This is real raw talent. So I was all about, bring it to the system, bring it to the station. Let's put it in the system. Let's put the song out there, and that's how we started talking again. But at the time we started talking again, life had happened to me, and he still had feelings. I remember the day he actually brought the CDs to the station. I remember. I remember what I was wearing. I remember what he was wearing, and how I remember these times was because after the whole incident in March and April, I did a particular hairstyle. Carried that hair till November, and it wasn't because I didn't want to loosen my hair. One, it was convenient. It was like fox locks. It was convenient to. I just did the hairstyle because I didn't want to have the presence of mind to think about. I didn't have the time or capacity to think about doing my hair over and over again. So I just put my hair in fox locks. And so that's why I can remember the time. It's by the hair. I remember the time. I remember what I wore. I remember what he wore. I remember him signing. I told him to sign the CDs. We're going to give them out to people. And so we started talking again shortly after. And for me, it was just like, he was a really good person. Just wanted to be his friend. Just want to be his friend.
Who friend zone by your idea?
It was bad.
Wait, so you friends zoned him for how long?
Like 3 years.
3 years. Wow. To think that you're not going to be married couple with 3 children.
Oh my goodness.
What is that time? So what made you change your mind?
Oh man, lots of things. So many things happened in between. I would say significantly, my two of my brothers-in-law, my sisters had gotten married at the time, the next year, the following year, 2015, both of them got married. And I remember even before they got married, just singing with my brothers-in-law individually at different times. So my sisters would tease me because Femi was always coming around at some point. I was like, I don't like this guy. Why is like, you guys shouldn't, like, I can't even date him. I don't want to date him. He's this, he's that. And then he would come around and one of my brothers-in-law would see him and he would say, there was one day he called me and said, Ini, how far now? This guy is always just around, like, how far? So I was like, yeah, he's this guy. And yeah, for me, he's just my friend. And then he said to me, he told me a story of his own aunt and uncle, and how when his aunt wanted to get married, her husband came around, and his dad was just like, no, but because he didn't look like someone that fit the bill. But his aunt stayed there because it wasn't about what he looked like, it was about the potential that he had. And he was like that if this guy has it, which I can see that he does, I think that is something that you should consider. I remember that he said that, and I was like, yeah, he is hardworking, I know that. And he was like, yeah, so it's left for you to now think about what you want for your future. And that was the first seed. Because it wasn't like I was like, oh yeah, you're right. No, I wasn't like, no. but it was a seed. Then the second time, my other brother-in-law, I remember we were talking about something. We had done an interview, so he was watching it, and he was like, everything you're complaining about, I can't see it in this guy. I think that you're just looking at him based on the fact that you don't want to date him. Maybe you should just consider him as a person. Just look at him as a person. Like, what's he like? Get to know him. I was like, okay. So the third thing that changed my mind was having a conversation with my younger sister one day. And I was like, you know what? I don't even have the time. This guy is such a good guy. He's such like, I don't even have the time for good guys right now. I don't have, because my life was going upside down. And I also don't even have the time to be in like this kind of relationship. I'm just, like I said, fighting for my life. And she said, what if he's supposed to be a part of your healing journey? And that one really, like, how you're hitting the nail and that was a final hammer hit. And then eventually I realized also that I was also praying for my future husband, by the way.
When it was right around the corner.
I was praying for love. I would be crying. So many heartbreaks. I won't tell this one about my heartbreaks and stuff. I'll tell him about it.
Yeah, genuine.
I'll be telling God that I have so much love to give. Why can't you just bring someone? And then one day, I remember God said to me, what if I've already given you this person? I was like, I just saw Femi's name written. I was like, nope. I ended that prayer. I got up. I was like, no. But then I also realized later on that everything I had been praying for, he was actually just checking them out. And I think also Femi was just very consistent. Like, he didn't go anywhere. Like, it wasn't. I remember saying to him at some point, if I was a guy, I would have left me. Why are you still here? But he was very consistent, very persistent. Not persistent as in annoyingly persistent, just persistent in kindness and persistent in love. The kind of love that it covers. Like, not the kind of love that, oh, I want to shower you with love or toast you or anything. No, it was the kind of love that covered. It was kind of love that, how would I say, like, when I say covered, I don't necessarily even mean protect. It was kind of love that covered up for your mistakes. The kind of love that covered the gap. And yeah, I think eventually, I don't think I stood a chance, to be honest. Yeah.
So, I remember you had told me that, I don't know if you told me, but I heard it, that you actually told him about being raped so that he could leave you alone.
Oh, yes. I told him about not just the rape, everything that my life had become after. I told him about, I was like, listen, in order to help myself, I started sleeping with guys. And I've done this, I've had this, I've had that, I've had an abortion, I've done this, I've that. I told him everything just so that he would say, wow. This is a bit much.
Yeah.
But I remember just telling him about, that was my final, how do I say that? That was my last card.
Yeah.
That was in 2015. December 2015.
It was December.
December, Christmas Day.
Christmas Day
2015. I did that just so that he would, like, and he just said, okay, let's pray. That was when I knew that it's like,
you're going nowhere.
Nowhere.
The kidnap and the rape, was it one person?
So there were two people who kidnapped me, but it was one person that raped me. I want to say thankfully, but yes, it was one person that raped me. Yeah.
For me.
You. Were you?
First of all, you be man.
No, be human being.
What was going through your mind when she told you about the rape and everything that she'd had to deal with, knowing that that happened, and she felt like, because I know you said that when that happened, you had to begin to do everything because you felt unworthy, so you might as well just continue to be unworthy intentionally.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was, and I'll come back to that with you. We'll come back to that. What really, really was happening in your mind?
Ah, man, I felt so bad. For her, no human being should have to go through that kind of experience. But
Did it make sense to you?
of course, it did not make sense to me. Never
No,
like.
no, like what I mean, like I'm so sorry, I'm jumping on your question,
It's
but
okay.
even I
Yeah,
have
please.
never asked you. Like, I was gonna say, like, did it make sense to you, like how I was acting? Share.
Well, makes sense. I don't know. I was just going with the situation, if that makes sense. I had no yardstick to navigate. I had no yardstick to, oh, how can I be there? I just know that this happened to her and I want to be with her. So where do you find that sweet spot, that middle? Obviously, initially it was a lot of dumping on me, you know, which is why I'm still always shocked that when she gives me attitude, it still affects me. Because in the beginning it was worse. But I think it's because of,
Sorry.
it's okay. Probably because how much I have loved her over the years. It would not make sense to me. So let me just circle back to it. For me, it was like, okay, this is the situation. How do I stay here and be like, not like a fly on the wall, but like if you look back, you see me that I'm here, and it's not like I'm rushing you into like, oh, you should not. It was never like that. I wanted to be a safe haven for her. So in that initial time where we were about to start, I knew about everything and everything happened. I was just there. I didn't have words of wisdom or words of affirmation or all these things.
And I appreciate it.
She was going through it. I can't, as a man, I can't, there's no way I can understand the experience. But what I can do is not just be empathetic, but just be there. Be constant. It's just that simple. So if she wanted to talk, I was there. For the most part, she didn't want to talk. It's okay. There was a time she couldn't hear the word rape. I was there. There was a time it was just very, very traumatic for her. I was just there. I just made sure that I was there. And instead of saying it, just do it. I don't know. I've never really been like, when it comes to, I'm realizing that when it comes to feelings, I don't know how to express with words. Ini is amazing at expressing herself. I don't know how to do it. I know how to act it out. Just be there. What do you need from me? How do you want it? I am here. Do you understand? Just for you to know that you are not alone. So I think that was what happened in that instance. The first time she shared that story, I was there. The first radio thing that you went for, the first time she spoke about it, I went to the studio with her. The first gathering or church that she shared that story, I was there and I was following up. I was going everywhere. And it also spelled even into our marriage, into pregnancy, into everything. I was just, even before we started dating, I'll go to our office. I still have a drawing of duffel duck that she did for me. I have it in one of my Daffy, and I have it in my file. I'm going to frame in one of these days. I'll just put it up. Like, it reminds me of how everything
Season.
started for us. Like that consistency on my part when it comes to her. I wanted to show her that, oh, this is not me just being consistent because I want to date you. Or this is what life is going to be like moving forward. And I can tell you, like, at least to the best of my ability, I'm not a perfect person, obviously, but I've tried to do the best that I can. So honestly, when she said that was a part of her healing journey, I never really even saw it like that until like she kind of like mentioned it. I just like, she needs me, she will not say it. So I just have to be there. And sometimes she'll break down, she'll cry. And sometimes for some women they don't like crying in front of men. But she will. And I never judged, I never spoke down on her, I never made her feel like she was not, a fantastic human being that she has always been. Do you understand? So, but the beautiful thing is the gradual healing. And it started little by little, then it was just fast at a point. And I feel like it was not just me. There's a lot of God involved. There's a lot of family involved. Our sisters, our brothers, our family, they are fantastic. And then obviously there was now me. So I think that was also what like sped up everything to like, oh, she understands the kind of backbone that she has, and that love was constant. They pour love in their family. I don't know how it is. Like they have gorodome of love that they pour. Even with that Femi, I don't. Do you understand? So but also one of the things I promised myself, just even before I married, I was like, this woman will understand what love feels or what love means from me. Do you understand? Like just down the line, she would look back and like, okay, he didn't say it, but he was doing it. He was doing it constantly, and I felt like that was actually what she needed at that time. And I thank God that we are here now. It's now in narration, because at that time, it was easy. And I'm not saying that it was easy being taking it up. Like I had to ask God for constant capacity, because I've never gone through that kind of thing before, and also choosing to saying that I'm not going anywhere. Like I'm staying here. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad.
I'm thinking about it from the perspective of what men know in our society. Like when that type of thing happens to a woman, you have to exclude yourself
Of course.
or throw stones.
Of course.
And with you, I'm still confused as to, yeah, I get it. Like I've loved her long before this happened,
Mm-hmm.
and even after this happened.
Yeah.
I want to know what was going on in your mind from what you know from society, and how you were able to resolve in your heart that my love will hold space.
You remember that Titanic movie? You remember the soundtrack? My love will go on. In a nutshell, that was it. Because it's a very unique situation. Do you understand? And the easy thing is to bolt, and rightfully so. Like I've heard stories of men that, I can't take this. So the baggage is too much. I just go. But I think for me, the fact that I knew that Amy was going to be my wife from the jump, I knew the end from the beginning, just like my father, Jesus Christ. So that kind of like helped in understanding the situation and just being there, just being consistent. Because I realized that at the point, I'm like, if you ever leave this woman, you're going to damage her. She will not believe in love again. So that thought never crossed my mind. It was never there. It was like, oh, this is the person I'm going to marry and I'm going to be here. For me, it was like, I saw the end from the beginning, if that makes sense. Like I saw years, I saw children, I saw grandchildren.
So for you weren't even thinking about what happened or anything?
I was thinking about what happened, obviously. But if I put too much thought into what happened,
you will miss the mark.
I'll miss what I'm like. Do you know how many times I've heard this story and I'm there and I'm listening? And it's not like I only one 7 years later. Do you understand? I'm still listening. Do you understand? It's not. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. Let me put this out there. Loving Ini is not easy.